Hello you guys, I'm going to give you news on book number 2. This book, that came in really quick, didn't it? Whew. This is the book that became a bestseller this year, I'm very proud to say, and it is available on Amazon and it's just shy of £10 with free postage. So if you wanted to go get one as a stocking filler, I will be forever grateful. And like I say, it's a good old hearty book and it's got an collection of eclectic stories in here. There's 12 of us that wrote in this, and you probably already know that. So half of the book is my story and then the other half is the other authors. Now, we were asked, quickly, hang on, the book news on this book is that we have just gone to Kindle bestseller in the medical biographies section, which is brilliant because Kindle seemed to be a hard nut to crack. Now I just thought I'll leave it there because that's a hard nut to crack, and it's also on Apple iBooks, and Apple iBooks were doing okay with the sales. Paperback was doing really well. This is, by the way, it feels lovely. If you get the one from Amazon, it feels kind of rubbery. If you get the one directly from me, and you'll need to reach out and get in touch with me, or go to my website because there's a link on there. This is a limited edition because it's a coloured cover, and I can write inside here and personalise it for you or for your Christmas present person. Let me just get Harley on this chair because he really wants to stay in the office and snore. There he goes. Bless him, he's a little darling. Look at that. So cute. Anyway, you want to know about book news. So, yes, so book news is this. Book number 2 is coming. We are going to get together and produce something. My part is going to be quite small in this one because I've just finished the first draft of No Rain, No Flowers. If you don't know what No Rain, No Flowers is, let me try and find it in here. So my part of the book it started on just before lockdown, I think. Hang on. Well, this is Ronnie's poem. There's some poems in here as well. Switching Off the Glitter Ball by Chris, which was about dancing. In fact, let me tell you quickly what this book's about before we talk about book 2. We've got plenty of time. So story number 1 is called Chickpeas and the Virus. Can you imagine what that can be about? Just have a little think before I tell you. Now, that was by Nicola, and that is a brilliant piece of writing. I absolutely loved that. It needed hardly any editing, and I really loved her story. I would love to put another one in from Nick, but I know she's got a lot on her plate at the minute. But basically, that was about, in the cupboard, you got a tin of chickpeas. It's your safety net. You know you're not going to starve. And we were. When you think how much things have changed now compared to back then, like back then it was like, we haven't got enough toilet rolls to go around, so let's just bulk buy them. And it was talking about the bluebells in the woods and everybody going for a WALK. Can't say the word because he's in the room and he knows exactly what that means, and he'll do that. So yeah, everyone was doing that, complaining how bored they were, baking banana bread. And we was all so naive. We was like, oh my God, 3 weeks lockdown. Oh, that's so long. And here we are at the end of the year. I mean, somebody said, didn't they, this could go on till Christmas. And I can remember people going, nah, never go on till Christmas. So, you know, when you think how much we've changed. So this book really has captured the history that we probably would have forgotten. And as you read it, you go, oh yeah, I remember, and I did that and I did that. So that was story 1. Story 2 was The New Normal. Now that was by Joe, and Joe is a writer and a biologist, and I loved that. And he was just talking about, he normally would teach in a classroom and he had to suddenly do it from his screen. So that was a really good story, brilliant piece of writing. He's just graduated with an MA as well in creative writing, same as me. Requiem in C major. That was by Lulu. That was really quite an original piece of poetry, really. And then Asthma Fears, which was from an anonymous writer to do with having lung issues in the COVID scare, if you like. Then Megan wrote a story, Final Year in Biomedical Science, which was brilliant. So she was supposed to graduate and in lockdown, and of course it couldn't happen. So how was it for her? In fact, I don't know if hers was about graduation. I think it was about finishing up, because they were, oh my God, it really got me, this part of the story. Slight spoiler alert, but not really. All of a sudden, they was like, right, you're locked down, you can't come in anymore. And they was like, these friends that we'd worked with for 3 years, weren't going to see them anymore. Oh my God, it really, really got me, that did. So yeah, she didn't graduate. officially she did, but she didn't because nobody had graduation ceremonies, so I could get her to write part for that in book 2 about that. Then we had poems from Ronnie. Ronnie's poems were really popular, and his family all have got one of these and they absolutely loved them. So his first poem was called Lockdown. What else did he put? Oh, one called Missing, one called All Gone Mad, and then there was one towards the end, but I'm not going to say anything about that, you have to read it. Then David wrote from, he's a gentleman from local to me, but he lives in Bosnia. You might know about that situation because I went out to visit him and his beautiful wife Tamara, who's a very good friend of mine. I went out to visit them about a year ago. I just came back just over a year ago, and his was about being locked down in Bosnia. Is This Like the War? That was from somebody that works for Tesco's, and that was anonymous as well. The Day the Schools Closed, that was by Ben Odero, again an MA student, same as me in creative writing. He's a bloody brilliant writer, and he's an author on YouTube now as well. And then Jasmine wrote a piece, Mother's Day in the Jewellery Store, and that was when the jewellery store became, Mother's Day was nearly here, and then it was like lockdown, so who could buy jewellery for their mum? That didn't sound very enticing. That's a really good story, you need to read that as well. Dad's on the Front Line. Now this was, I think she used her author name, I don't think she's anonymous, but she wrote about her father who was a surgeon in these times, very difficult. And then All Gone Mad, Ronnie's poem, Switching Off a Glitter Ball, was by Chris, and that was to do with the fact that we had to stop dancing. There was no dancing anymore, that was massive. And then my part, No Rain, No Flowers. Does that need any introduction, No Rain, No Flowers? You can kind of understand, you know, that it's like, oh, this is a bit crappy, but without the crappy bits you can't have the flowery bits, you know. And then the afterword was, a lot of them, not all of them, wrote about how actually writing made them feel. And all of the authors said it was very therapeutic. And like I say, I haven't told all of them yet. You guys are going to know this before they do. But a lot of them were like, yeah, I really want to write some more. Let me contribute again. And I think it would be brilliant for the people that have read the book to read the follow-up from those authors. And mine is in one complete book, which I've just finally finished the first manuscript, and it's called No Rain, No Flowers in its entirety. Now, it's very difficult to advertise this. I've tried to get advertising going and everybody is saying no. It was really hard to get it published in the first place with that title. Everyone was like, you can't say anything about that. And I was like, we're just talking about our feelings. I'm not saying what it is and how to cure it. I mean, come on. But so it's very hard to get that advertised, which is why I say, please buy it and tell everybody, because I cannot market this in the usual way. So given that I cannot market it in the usual way and we still go on to bestseller status, it's incredible. So my book, No Rain, No Flowers, which is going to be a bit bigger than this book completely, because it's going to have my part of the story of this, and then it's carried on right up until now. I'm going to tell you this. There is a massive plot twist that I've just written, which I don't know is going to make the final cut or not. If you wanted to read that, oh God, am I going to do this? I've sent it out to a few people and it's had very good feedback. But it's massive, massive plot twist, and I don't know if I'm going to include that in No Rain, No Flowers. But anyway, so that's the book news on this COVID subject. Now, I'm not going to tell you about the other bit of writing that I'm going to be doing around COVID and Crohn's, because that's for my PhD research study, and I will tell you more about that in a separate video. But also, as you know, I haven't got it here to hand, but we've got Happiness in Vitro, which has been a long time in the making, isn't anywhere near finished, but that I also want to get the manuscript going for that. And get that out probably next year. So I'm thinking 2021, we're definitely going to get book 2 of this, No Rain, No Flowers out, and I'm hoping for IVF, Happiness in Vitro, which would be, it's an absolute cracker. What's going on? So many postmen going on. Everyone's buying everything online. Do you notice that? So that's the book news. If you want to write for book 2, I mean, obviously, I've said this before, it doesn't matter if you're not the world's best writer or you're no good at spelling, that's up to me to edit that, all right? So if you've got a story to tell, which you've lived through COVID, the whole world has lived through COVID, and you have got a story to tell, like I say, we've got somebody who's given birth, somebody who's got married, these are great stories, but they're big ones. Yours might simply be, I used to feel like this, but this has gone on and now I feel like that. You know, inspiration, life change, motivation. We want all of that in these books so that somebody in 20 years' time can pick it up and go, whoa, look what that was like back then. I'd forgotten this, I'd forgotten that. You know, we've got to record these things. You think if nobody had written down the Bible, we wouldn't have the Bible stories. And, you know, or maybe, I don't know, did they write down there? I don't know how it was written. I don't know. I'm sorry, I haven't got a clue. But those stories are so significant. You know, you think of the story of Jesus being born at Christmas. What if that story hadn't been recorded and somebody had just forgotten it? Or, you know, it's, oh, I don't know. I just feel passionately that if we've got big stories for big life stuff, which this is, we've got to get them out there. We've got to record them. We've got to get down there for future people and generations and even other countries. Like, I mean, all right, we've got David from Bosnia in there, but the rest of us, I think, were UK. Yeah, we were. So somebody in the States could pick this up. Somebody in Canada could pick this up and go, oh, look, they had bluebells. Or Australia, I mean, they're going through summertime now. And like we had our bluebell woods, and it was such a significant thing that you will forget. It was significant at the time, but not significant to the life changing. So somebody picked that up and go, I remember that. All the photographs online of all the bluebell woods where we was all able to go out walking. That one thing could have that butterfly effect where we took that time to go walking in the bluebell woods and see the beauty and thought, oh, that's really nurtured my soul. And now I feel as though I want to make time for that in my life when everything's back to normal. Anyway, I'm going to end now, and thank you for watching. Give the video a thumbs up. I'll leave some links in places so you can go and check everything out, and I'll see you soon.